Did you know that water is heavier than butane? It's because butane is a lighter fluid. Today, I'm going to recap a 2010 action crime film called Takers. The story kicks off with a pair of cops in a car, dispatched to a rough neighborhood to look into illegal drug dealings. At the same time, a group of crooks, pretending to be employees and regular folks, are scoping out a bank, collecting data for an upcoming big heist. The duo of sleuths reach the mentioned flat around this time and step inside. They part ways to nab the culprits, yet one slips away. The bad guys have already started gearing up for the heist, loading up on weapons and donning their equipment. They detonate a gadget in the elevator after stepping out, drawing the surveillance room's focus. After this, while one faction keeps watch on the hostages, the other stuffs bags with cash from the safe. Suddenly, a lady smashes the security alert, notifying all authorities about the theft. A gang member then forces her to ring the police. Consequently, news folks on a chopper pick up the call, getting wind of the story first, which speeds them to the bank's rooftop. In the meantime, a gangster named AJ, posing as a guard, climbs the structure and greets the journalists with a firearm. The outlaws snag the helicopter and make a getaway with the spoils. They touch down later, destroy the helicopter, split up into different cars and zoom off. The heist went off without a hitch, no hostages or cops were harmed, and the crooks left no evidence behind. The scene shifts to a jail, where an inmate named Ghost is getting out of his cell. Following this, Detective Jack Wells shows up, eager to identify the heist men. Ghost steps out of jail, and we see how he retrieves a weapon and cash from a secret spot. Ghost drops by a lawbreaker named Sergei, telling him he got a note from a mafia head while behind bars. Sergei lets him through, but another guy takes Ghost by surprise from behind. Ghost overpowers him easily, pointing a gun at Sergei, who proposes a quiet talk. In the meantime, the bank raiders are toasting to their success. Jake, a team member, nudges his brother Jesse to see their dad in prison, but Jesse declines. Jake walks up to his soon-to-be wife, Rachel, proposing marriage to her, while AJ is at the piano, creating music. During this, other members of the gang, including John and Gordon, are soaking in the joy of the celebration. On the flip side, the detectives are glued to the CCTV footage, trying to pick up any leads, but with no luck. A few days later, John comes home to find Ghost waiting for him, leaving him stunned. Ghost was the brain behind the crimes, but got nabbed due to an error made a long time ago. He's kept mum since landing in jail, not spilling any beans about his gangmates. Now he's got another big agenda on his mind and wants to chat with the crew, to which John agrees to loop in the others. Meanwhile, Gordon, the guy leading the gang now, drops by the rehab center to see his sister. He throws a bash later in the night, calling over the gang to a posh club to talk about Ghost. All is well, until Ghost makes a surprise entrance. They head to the roof of a towering building, to hash out the new task Ghost has lined up for them. The mission is to hijack a money-moving truck in a span of 5 days, kicking off tonight. Ghost lays out the truck's route and the loot's worth, a cool $25 million, explaining how he sprung a Russian mob guy from a lockup in Russia. As a thank you, the Russian bad guy had one of his guys get the truck's route from the bank's dispatcher. Ghost vows to cover the Russian's cut, so the focus is solely on gearing up for the task. Post-Ghost exit, Jake tries to remind everyone of their once-a-year heist mantra and how they've only got a 5-day prep window now. However, Gordon argues that the higher the risk, the sweeter the payoff, urging them not to miss this shot. AJ pores over the truck's route, pinpointing the prime spot for the heist. Jake figures out the amount of boom stuff needed, considering the blast size and the road's thickness. The rest need to cook up a plan to swipe the cash. After the plotting, they get cracking on the sewer work under the cover of night. Amidst this, the sleuths delve into how the crooks got their hands on the C4 explosives. While on the road, they stumble upon a notorious arms and explosives merchant. They engage with him, subtly hinting at a possible arrest, which leads the dealer to spill about a client who bought a hefty load of C4. Come nightfall, AJ sets off to negotiate for C4 with some tough guys, but faces a hostile reception, and they turn him down. They snatch AJ's cash, intending to boot him out, but then a skirmish erupts, with AJ laying a heavy beating on all 3 tough guys. When John and Ghost swing by to back him up, they find out the C4 stash is tucked away in the garage. On the investigative front, the detectives get a tip-off from a snitch and make their way to the bomb-making locale. They bust into a forsaken building, where 2 Russian hoods bolt. Detective Jack Wells chases one down, landing a bullet in his back. Shortly after, Jack's partner reaches him, helping in nabbing the baddie. They stumble upon a hefty cache of C4 and more arms, hinting at a grand scheme in the works. Jack spots technical sketches on the wall too, but can't quite piece together the crook's game plan. On the other side, the robbers are rounding off their pre-heist preps. AJ cracks the traffic light system, gaining command over the traffic flow. As night falls, Gordon and AJ hash out the plan, only to realize they'd walked into a snare. Gordon's sister, fresh out of the rehab center earlier than thought, drops in. Gordon frets over her, but she reassures him she's on the mend. Come next day, Jack Wells pores over evidence collected from the crook's lair the day prior. He uncovers an intriguing tie between Ghost and Russian mobsters while sifting through photos. Realizing Ghost got out just as a Russian crime ring was gearing up for a big operation, he smells something fishy. Ghost gets called into the police station for a grilling, with Jack summoned too, who opts to cut Ghost loose, but tail him. Later on, the detective gets wind that Ghost was slated to rendezvous with Gordon for a handoff. He also spots Jesse, who flashes a similar hand sign as a robber during the previous bank heist. The detective tails Gordon's car, which is being driven by John. After noting down the license plate, he heads back to the police station to dig up info on Gordon, but comes up empty. Meanwhile, Gordon's sister pilfers money from his apartment, then sneaks off to buy stuff. Gordon scores for her at night, but to no avail. The robbers get back to the grind the following morning, setting up explosives at the spots where the vans would pause. Later in the night, Gordon gets a call from his sister saying she's at the police station. He hurries there to bail her out, and just then, Jack and his buddy stroll into the station. While Jack interrogates a druggie who was locked up with Gordon's sister, the latter grabs him and they dash off. They get into a fiery argument in the car, after which she bolts. The day of the heist arrives, and the robbery squad springs into action. Concurrently, Jack is called in by his bosses, finding out his partner let a criminal slide to swipe money from the crime scene. This circles back to the opening scene. Now the robbers kill the traffic lights at the intersection, with Ghost stepping in as a makeshift traffic officer. He hits the crossroad to manage traffic, but the money van is tardy. John takes on the role of a sharpshooter, ready to take out Ghost if he tries any funny business. Luckily, the vans show up, and Ghost leads them to the explosive-laden stretch. But just before the big boom, a bike zips across the road, making the van hit the brakes and triggering the C4 prematurely. The van was supposed to plummet into the pit, but now they've got to improvise. John comes out of hiding, tackles a security guard, and hops into the van ahead, shoving it into the pit. The crooks below grab the cash and hightail it out of there, nearly having called off the job. On the flip side, Jack is driving his colleague home when they hear about the heist 3 blocks down, deciding to check it out. But then, Jack remembers the subway maps from the Russian criminal's hideout and guesses the nearby metro entrance might have been the robbers' getaway route. Reaching there, the detectives spot Jesse in the crowd and hotfoot after him. Jesse ends up cornered in the rear of a hotel kitchen following a lengthy pursuit. When Jack's partner confronts him, Jesse fires at him, then dashes off again. Shortly after, Jack finds his gravely hurt partner lying on the floor. Jesse keeps on running, dodging other cops trying to catch him. Tragically, Jack's partner succumbs, and now the robbers are in deep water. Around this time, Sergei rings up Ghost, irked for pulling off the job with his own crew instead of the Russians. Ghost was supposed to team up with the Russians for the heist, but didn't find them trustworthy. Gordon and his team are clueless about this. Ghost, Gordon, and the rest are in a hotel room, divvying up the spoils when Jesse storms in, furious, revealing he's shot a cop, sparking a heated clash. Scott, their money-cleaning helper, shows up later to collect the cash. Ghost slips into the bathroom, tipping off the Russian thugs about Gordon and Co.'s location. As the Russians storm the hotel, Ghost makes a break for it. He had fibbed to Sergei about sharing the loot, plotting to eliminate Gordon and the others through Sergei's fury. Gordon's realization of Ghost's betrayal comes too late. The Russians are already on the move. Targeting AJ, a fierce gunfire exchange breaks out, with many Russian goons falling. Luckily, Gordon and the rest get away unharmed, and sensing the brawl has alerted the cops, they decide to scatter. Jake and Jesse head back to the mansion to fetch Jake's girlfriend and some dough. But Jake discovers Ghost has swiped the cash and offed his sweetheart. At the same time, Jack Wells stumbles upon Gordon's apartment and starts snooping around. The police encircle the robber's stronghold, and seeing no escape, Jesse and Jake reckon getting shot is better than getting caged. Meanwhile, Gordon is nearing home, but spots the messed up lock just before entering. He diverts to the parking lot, finding his sister, and they drive towards the airport. Spotting them drive off, the detective kicks off a chase. On the road, Gordon and John chat and accurately guess that Ghost plans to off Scott, a resourceful middleman, and snatch the remaining cash. Indeed, Scott hops on the private jet, but Ghost storms in, kills him, and takes the money. Yet, he bumps into Gordon. Right at that moment, Jack Wells shows up, and all three have their guns drawn at each other, leading to a tense three-way face-off. It escalates with Ghost shooting both Gordon and Jack first. They both get hit and fall to the ground. As Ghost lunges at Gordon, John swoops in just in nick of time to shoot him. A hurt Gordon, along with his sister and John, leave the detective behind and speed off. Despite his severe injuries, Jack musters the strength to dial 911 for assistance. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.